Hi there, it's Kevin with GatheringMagic.com here with match number 1 with the green-white Constellation. Yes, we'd like to play first. And I don't believe that this is going to be a keepable hand, so we're going to go ahead and ship it back. I can't just rely on the Windswept Heath, so we'll go ahead and mulligan. And this one's fine. It allows us to have a... This actually makes everything cost less. And the Fleece Ram is going to help stabilize versus any sort of hyper-aggressive deck. So that's what we want to, of course, go up against with this sort of hand. We do have the finisher in our hand as well. The Sigil of the Empty Throne. And it's going to be a Baron, so I have no clue what we're up against here. Blossom's going to be beautiful, so now we can go the Pantheon. And hope he doesn't have an ultimate price for it. And then next turn we can get the if we draw into a land, we can get a Blossom. So could be just the good old Esper control. And that's what I'm going to think it's going to be. So most likely the Pantheon is going to get taken care of. And we do need to draw into runner lands for the Eidolon. Eidolon needs to stick in these games too. I have seen, Last Breath, that actually exiles it. So he's definitely not worried about me gaining life. But we'll go ahead in here and play another one. And he's got an ultimate price. So yeah, this is going to be a control matchup. So getting a Starfield out is going to be the best card for us to draw into, and eventually we need those lands. Courser of Kruphix are also another great card. A Secret of the Way isn't, I guess double Secret of the Way is a little bit threatening. But with our life total, not too much. And there's a Temple of Plenty. This will allow us to scry, well, ooh, we want a Courser. Put this on top. And I think we'll just go for another Fleece Ram. And the Seekers, I think Seekers are the only card besides the Dragon Lord, only creature they use in the deck. We'll just go ahead and block these. If he wants to use a card to get rid of one, that's fine. Didn't think so. So we'll go ahead and gain some life. Unfortunately, though, we are staring down a counter spell. I think it's still worthwhile for the Courser to get dissolved if he has a dissolve. And then we're going to be, oh, wow, he lets that stick. So maybe this doesn't have a dissolve, and we hit the advantage off it right off the bat with the Kruphix's, or with the forest being on top. So I wonder if he just doesn't even have, if he's stuck on a lot of digs and not one more card in his hand for a dig, and just no dissolves. So see if he comes with the Seekers. Yeah, we're not going to worry about the Courser. I could care less about damage here. I mean, he wants to bait me into blocking with a Courser to try to kill a Seeker. And he's, so he gets an ultimate price anyway. But it did its job. It gained a card. And he gains a lot of life. And we, most likely, I'm going to just resolve an Eidolon. I think that's the better line of play. And if he does have the Silmgar Scorn, maybe I should have actually played a Kruphix Insight in case he didn't have a dragon in his hand. And another Nyx-Fleece Ram. These are going to come out, of course, versus this particular matchup. And we'll bring in the Boon Satyrs. So he's just going to use a main phase Treasure Cruise or Dig Through Time, trying to hit another land drop. And this is where we need to go crazy. So I need to hit a land next turn for the Sigil. Yeah, he's just going to attack into these guys again. Not a big deal. I guess the Nyx-Fleece Ram have done really well against those, but we've gained enough life without worrying about the damage. Unfortunately for us, we miss with the land for the Sigil. So I think I'd rather just play another Ram and try to hit a land off the Eidolon and at least get value out of the Eidolon before like maybe a Wrath effect is coming. So draw a card. Hopefully it's a land. It is a land, and I still think that we'll Kruphix's Insight now. And we have 2 Silkwraps, and a lot of lands go to the graveyard here. Might as well get in there for 2 damage with the Eidolon. And then pass the turn to him. So I'm sure he got like another ultimate price, another last breath for the Eidolon. Thought about putting a Heliod in here for Eidolon, because you can start to draw a lot of cards, but I think you get plenty of card advantage without it. Kruphix's Insight kind of missed one of the cards. It did get rid of that huge pile of lands, but I think the more lands the merrier at this point. We can cast. We're still have plenty of cards in our hand, but the problem is now I really can't. The Sigil cannot just run into a dissolve. We have to have any chance versus this deck. We have to resolve this Sigil. But I did get the Silkwraps for the Seekers, which is better than nothing. There's a Jace. And a Monastery Mentor, which we will Silkwrap. And he saw those. I really don't understand why he just decided to cast those. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Unless he just doesn't want me. Like, I could hit a Sigil here. And I still might do that. Just cast a Sigil. Well, that's a free card. Yeah, we'll cast the Pantheon. Because that draws us a card, and then we can still Silkwrap. Oh, that does not. Yeah, he himself is not an enchantment. I just realized that. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll Silkwrap here. Get rid of the Mentor. We can actually play the Courser of Kruphix, but I think he's getting rid of Jace or Kruphix. Well, we could still hit a land. No, it's going to be a Nyx-Fleece Ram coming up, so that, again, might not have been the best play. And I don't want to trade like an Eidolon. So now I can loot with this Jace. But we do have quite an army starting to assemble. Again, as time goes on, I'm going to get better at playing this deck too. I need to know my priorities with the deck. And he'll attacking with those again. Well, he can run him into Nyx-Fleece Rams because I'm still not going to block. Most likely he's just going to try to draw some or gain some life off of this. In theory, he could destroy this and the Courser and the Eidolon. So you anticipate. So does he need... He needs 5 cards in the graveyard. So he's going to try to flip Jace for sure. But that'll probably use all of his mana. And he's going to start to run out of removal, you would think, with 2 ultimate prices in a last breath. Wonder if he's running Banishing Light. So after this match, though, we can check off the bucket list control. Yeah, ultimate price on the Eidolon. That was expected. He's trying to debate whether he wants to kill these Nyx-Fleece Rams or not. Okay, so he's going to flash back another ultimate price. But he can't do it during his attack phase. So these most likely are going to survive. So he should have done that beforehand. Gains a lot of life. Up to a 39 just from the Seekers. Close to another treasure cruise. I think he'd want to... Well, he has to see if he wants to protect the Jace. So he has a lot of decisions here. Yeah, and that's what he's going to do. He's going to pump up his Jace. Doesn't keep up a Dissolve, though. He could have the Scry counterspell. We do get a Plains off the top. That's nice. And we could, I believe, Sigil here. And just hope he doesn't have a counter unless I pay 3. Yeah, I think that's the right play. This first. Resolving this is going to be huge, though, because it's whenever I cast. And now I can just Banishing Light. I guess you might as well get in here with Herald. Get him down to that 37. He's in trouble. And it's nice to know I'm up on the time clock as well, because this just seems like it's going to be a mess of a match. And we've both played very quickly. So I wonder if even Ojutai's in here, or if it's just more of a prowess type strategy with the Mentors and the Seekers. He could even have the traditional one in the Jeskai burn. The one that you can pay 2 blue and 2 colorless to bring back a spell you cast. Also has lifelink. Soulfire Grandmaster. And I doubt it, though. I doubt that deck. I doubt that card to be in here. I think Nyx-Fleece Ram is actually going to be in his sideboard. It's just going to be another one of those decks that preys on the mono red. Seeker does such a good job against mono red. So I think here, make him cast another spell for an... Now, it's just we're just going to keep throwing Fleece Rams in front of the Seekers. And yes, he will gain some more life. But that's not that big of a deal. It's going to be a dig through time. Which is going to take both of his blue sources, though. He's going to try to find a way to actually push through these Nyx-Fleece Rams. So I have a backup one here and still one right here on the battlefield. Thought about for the Nyx-Fleece Ram putting in the Assault Formation just as a way for my defensive Rams actually to be a threat. Makes Courser a little bit better. It doesn't affect the Angel. Doesn't affect the Pantheon. You can still pump them. But it seemed a little bit overkill in the deck. And he doesn't even kill the Nyx-Fleece Ram, so he's out of blue. And it gives me a Languish? Ah, that's good. Yeah, because they go up to 5/5s. And that does a pretty decent job of wiping my board, keeping his Seekers alive. So Languish is pretty decent versus us. I think that we will just... But, I mean, we have this renewable resource in the form of the Angels that are going to be produced from... I should not have played a land there. My apologies. Because we might find one off the top here that we can't play. Okay, it doesn't affect the state. So... think that, well, we can Silkwrap. And we'll even Nyx-Fleece Ram. Might as well. So now we're back to a better board state than we had before. He's at a whopping 45 to 45 life. Again, I think in this matchup, the time clock is probably more important than the life count. See if another Languish hits the bin here. Could be Ugin. Now, Ugin is actually... Wow, Ugin's actually very good. If he just uses it for 5. He gets back a lot of stuff. Yeah, that's brutal. That actually might end up being the game. We can Banishing Light it next turn. The Ugin. But then we're at the mercy of a mentor that can actually get out of control. So I do think instead of... We need to Banishing Light this guy right now. Yikes. And then... Next turn we can go Sigil. And hopefully not get overwhelmed by the Monastery Mentor. Oh no! And he has a Duress. Okay, that was the best draw. Now we're really just... we need a Starfield off the top. Because even we're at 45, we can actually get beat down quite quickly. Especially with him with Jace active and being able to flash back cards. Another mentor as well. Yeah, 45 isn't very safe against a... And he can see even dig, still Treasure Cruise one more time. Gets him two monks. Yeah, I probably should have overextended there with the angel tokens. Ugin wouldn't be nearly as a threat. Blossoming Sands is not a card. I'm going to keep it just for a Duress. But I'm going to take some insane amount of damage here. And we need a Starfield of Nyx. That is going to be a very nice card. Hopefully he doesn't have a Dissolve. You'd think he'd have one by now, though. He's gone through his entire deck. Well, he's looking for one. There's a Starfield of Nyx and a Banishing Light. Now I'm wishing I would have... Again, the Kruphix Insight only finds 2 cards. Now I'm actually wishing that I would have played this last turn. But we can Banishing Light. I'm thinking just a Mentor. There's Narset, which actually does give him another monk. And what did he find there? He didn't find anything off of the... It was just a land on top with the Narset. And taking a lot of damage again. Down to a 17. Temple of Plenty. We will scry. Put that on top. See if we can I don't even know if we can survive here. Starfield can get... I think we need to get an Eidolon of Blossoms. I don't think Sigil will quite work. Well, Sigil will be the right play, because what do we have on top? Another Starfield. But he must just have lands in his hand. He gets an emblem. Okay, so what do we need to return? What is the best course of action? If we go Eidolon, then when we cast the Starfield of Nyx, we could draw another card. I think we get the Sigil. Surprised he's not using counter magic in here, or maybe he's just been very unlucky. And do we attack into Narset? Because how many do we need to block? I don't want to attack with the Banishing Lights. Just to get Narset down a bit. I guess the best thing about this move is waste some more time off the clock. I mean, this game has already gone on for almost over 24 minutes. And we have a almost 4 minute advantage on our opponent. We need him to miss with the Narset here. A Thoughtseize is pointless, though. He can just loot it. Yeah, with the Jace, which he can Treasure Cruise. So he's going to be drawing a ton of cards here. He can throw the Thoughtseize into the bin. I'm surprised that he actually kept the Thoughtseize. Well, because I can draw a lot of cards. And he decides to Thoughtseize just so he can get some triggers. Yeah, I guess so. Because if he can get any of them through, that'd be the way to go. Because he's trying to get his guys up to 3-3 so he can get his Ugin back. Force me to block. All he has to do is actually kill one of my things and they fall back anyway. Is that how it works? Let's just hope he doesn't have another spell in hand. He has a dig. Yeah, that's probably the best card to have in hand, is a dig through time. Because this now allows him to get his other ultimate price, most likely. He has plenty of mana to spend. So I think we just needed one of those Starfields just a turn earlier. Maybe the Blossoming Sands ends up costing me the game for not putting that into play tapped on the turn before. And then we would have been a jump ahead, which could have pressured. Don't know if it would have mattered too much. I guess we could have got the Eidolon of Blossoms or the Sigil with an extra angel token, and then the Eidolon this turn. And then that could have actually drawn us into something, so... Yeah, ultimate price, I think, actually just takes my enchantments away. And I believe this is going to be game. I think he just has it on the damage alone. Very efficient deck, though. I mean, it really works. It's very similar to the Esper Mentor in Modern. All right, so we'll go on to the sideboard. I do believe the Boon Satyrs will come in for the... we don't need the commands. I don't think we need any of the commands in the list. Tormod's Crypt is probably pretty good. I'm not 100% sure that it's necessary, though. Suspension Field, no, does not need to come in. The only thing I would bring in is the Boon Satyrs for the Nyx-Fleece Rams. And Nyx-Fleece Ram just dies to too many things. I think the Boon Satyr does a better job. And we'll keep in one Tormod's Crypt. There's not a lot of sideboarding for this deck, this particular matchup. Our opponent will probably bring in Erases, if he has any Erase. Good news is I didn't see one counter. He could bring in Negates, but in his main board I didn't see one counter spell. He was playing all of his control was in the form of ultimate prices, thought seizes. Didn't see a Banishing Light. All right, yes, I'd like to play first. And we'll keep this. We got the Sigil and the Eidolon. It's kind of a slower hand. Our opponent gets the mulligan this time. He likes his 6. We'll start off with a Temple. And I think we can put another Temple on top. That's fine, because we can play one this next turn. And then possibly scry away another land. Definitely want the Eidolon on top, though. There's a Jace. And I believe we'll just leave the Boon Satyr mana up. And let the looting begin with the Jace. He decides to get rid of the ultimate price. Maybe he didn't have the black mana. But that's a great card for us to not have to run into. And I hope this actually pressures him enough. I think Eidolon's going to be better than a Courser, but we'll attack first. And there's a Herald of the Pantheon. Here's where a Tormod's Crypt would be nice, is right when he gets around 4. Not quite sure if both want to come in here. I'd like to have a like rest in peace type effect. Revoke existence, that exiles it. That's annoying. But if he can start using these on these more early game like Eidolons, and then here's an ultimate price on a Boon Satyr. That's great. Other than now, Jace gets to flip. So he had a very good hand. I mean, the Revoke Existence comes in. Erase could come in. Sorin, though, has to go to the bin. So he's keeping things more powerful than a Sorin. So Silkwrap comes now. Can I play... If I play a... Yeah, I play a Pantheon. Basically gives me a Courser for 1 less. Not quite sure if that is... Again, I want to give some sort of pressure. But a Languish can punish me for that. Rather than the Eidolon of Blossoms. And he's going to be able to flash back an ultimate price. Or revoke existence. And still be able to keep Jace. Yeah, I think Jace is going to be... That early Jace is going to be very hard for me to deal with. Well, at least we'll be able to attack into him. So I do believe it's just going to be a Sigil. But if he has a Banishing Light or Revoke Existence... Maybe not. Maybe we do want to Eidolon just to hit a land here. Well, we hit the land. I think that ends up working out in our favor. Definitely put that on top. We could play another Pantheon, but we could run into Languish. I think this forces him to Languish if he has it, though. Can't flash back anything with the Jace. I'm sure he's got like Digs and Treasure Cruises in his hand, and those are kind of awkward with having to spend mana. Now, Last Breath on an Eidolon. Maybe a Murderous Cut here. It looks like it's going to be a Treasure Cruise. A Treasure Cruise or a Dig in his hand. Treasure Cruise. He's back up to 5, so he wanted to hit a land drop there, but it's going to cost him his Jace. Other than he could have a Thoughtseize here as well. No Thoughtseize. Okay. So we'll attack into Jace. Takes care of him, but man, did he get value out of him. Cast the first Sigil. And get in there for the second, which puts the 4/4. A Languish again is still good. Ugin, we got to outrace that Ugin. Silkwrap, though, I can still cast it, even though if he didn't have a target. I wonder if he's loading that up for his mentors. Like, he's specifically not casting mentors until he clears the field with, like, a Languish. Now he's used Revoke Existence, just one. And we're going to go ahead and throw out the Heath. I think that I am going to cast the Silkwrap. Well, no, because he could still... I'm going to keep it in my hand. So the thing is, I pressure him for next turn, but if he grabs a Languish, it gives me a way to recover from a reset. And it looks like he's going to go Dig Through Time here. And then Ugin. Yeah, he probably has Ugin. And I don't have a way to deal with Ugin. No Banishing Light. Hope it's just a Languish. There's the Languish. Let me go ahead and thin out a little bit with the Windswept. Still 5 cards in hand. Very efficient deck with digs and treasure cruises. Mentor, that actually gives me a target now, so that works out well. But it's something with the Ugin that he'll get back. But he has to have the Ugin. And then if he has the Ugin, we can Boon Satyr it. But he'll get back, yeah. Oh wow, that's just gross. So unfortunately, I was kind of wishing that it didn't make me with the Silkwrap for this very reason. Because now I believe I have to cast this. And then he'll probably block it with his mentor. Because he's so far ahead. Probably has another one in hand. He's been waiting for that Languish. Yeah, just going to start beating me down with Ugin. Duress misses, doesn't do anything. Forest in hand. We'll play the Forest, but Ugin now can get rid of anything else that I play. I think Ugin's just going to control me out of the board. And that's a beautiful card. If he has any sort of ultimate price, though, it's not going to work. Well, gotta cast it now. And I'm sure he's just gonna tick it off with the Ugin. So you do that smartly beforehand. And I really don't think we can do anything against... Oh yeah, there's a card we can actually do against Ugin. Kruphix Insight gets us a Banishing Light. Yep, that is definitely a... But look at this, one more time. Our Kruphix Insight only finds us 2. But, I mean, that is definitely a powerful card. We'll play it over the Eidolon. And I think that might have just won us the game. It was only a matter of time before we drew a Banishing Light. That takes care of Ugin. He still has 4 cards in his hand. Eidolon, though, will draw us a lot of cards. So we'll throw out the Temple and see if we want this on top or bottom this. Cast an Eidolon. This will draw us a card. Doesn't matter if in response. Yeah, that's fine. He kills it, but I still get to draw a card. Don't like the planes, but I hope he has a Thoughtseize or a Duress here. All right. Yep, he really loaded up on those Duresses. He's missed with the Duress, a Duress, and a Thoughtseize. Silkwrap can take care of another threat. I need to draw into another like Kruphix's Insight. There we go. Beautiful. This is lovely without any counter magic. We can just go crazy with it. And now we hit the perfect card. So I'm going to get a Sigil, a Boon Satyr, and probably, maybe, no, I don't think he's got another Ugin in here. So it's going to be just a Starfield. Is going to be the more powerful play, and then we'll Boon Satyr. Now, Kruphix Insight was a great top deck. Yeah, I guess the other way around would have been proper. So we'll just go another... I think just Courser's fine here. As now we can cast the Sigil. And now I'll make my... Oh, no, 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 Kevin. That's not how I want to do it. Because now I can kill my Banishing Light for an Ugin back. Yeah, that was not the right play. Because you can just get Ugin right back. I just lost the game there. No, no, if he kills it, then it... Oh, wow. Yeah, that was... Oh, that was so bad. That was so bad. I just saw that right as I cast it, that instead of going for the kill, another ultimate price, because now I just Ugin's ults. And I'm out of cards. I'm way out of cards. And just gets him right back in this. Man. That was not a good... I got so many things exiled. And the Dress does hit a Silkwrap. So all I just need to do is just sit tight and not get above enchantments. But nope. Eidolon of Blossom is kind of nice. It forces him. This is actually a really good card still. Does he have another ultimate price? He's out of... That's all of his ultimate prices, right? Keep that in my hand just for a Thoughtseize. Jace. Well, that's actually really good. Again. Because he does not have a Revoke Existence in his... Yeah, he doesn't have a Revoke Existence. They're all exiled. So he's going to cast back like a Treasure Cruise. And both my Starfields are done, right? I've got them both exiled. And 3 of my... Yeah, so the Mentor is what he's going to try to do. He still uses, he can use another treasure cruise to try to get as many, wow, he should have used that. Well, yeah, it doesn't matter if he uses it now or not. Yeah, he's going to treasure cruise here. And see if we can draw. Sigil's beautiful because it gives us some play. Any enchantment off the top. And that's our last Sigil. Gonna go for another treasure cruise. He's got to be careful here. Card-wise. Time-wise, it looks like he's going to clock out. I don't know who's going to win this one. He does have the board presence versus me. But I'm going to start having some huge angels. And it looks like he's out of a lot of cards. Like, it's all lands left in his deck. That's what happens when you dig like crazy. You put a bunch of stuff on the bottom. And all of these cards are just going to add me angels. I think I actually would have won this game, even with all my misplays. It would have ground him out, and this is exactly what I meant by control. Might as well gain a life for whatever reason with the forest. Revoke existence for a Banishing Light for another Ukin. Maybe I wouldn't have won this one. But 48 minutes later, we're going to come to a conclusion here. And I wonder how he would actually, with his Ugin, where he'd do the damage. Because he has just 6 cards in his library, and that's that. So, anywho. This has been Kevin with GatheringMagic.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Playing on a Budget. If you haven't already, please subscribe to Gathering Magic and check out our Playing on a Budget playlist, which contains every episode. Thanks again and hope to see you soon.